Okay, something a bit different this time. We've got Creepy Encounters
Creepy
subreddit.
encounters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, title of this is Forgetting to Unlock My Bedroom Door Saved Me.
Wow, that sounds.
Ominous.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Almost a year ago, I, 24 male, was fresh out of college and had just moved into an apartment with my middle school bestie, 23 female, and her fiance, 25 male. This was after a long period of not seeing her in person. My bestie and I had a long and great relationship with a few rocky periods. I didn't know fiance well, but had met him a couple of times. He came off as kind of rude and loud, but mostly nice enough. I get a lot of little annoying behaviour. Oh, I let a lot of little annoying behaviours slide because she was so in love with him. I really just wanted to spend time with my best friend. Over the course of a few months, I
Sounds
slowly
like
discovered.
a very kind of interesting dynamic. I mean, all living together, it's a
Yeah.
bit much.
Over the course of a few months, I slowly discovered that she was trapped in an abusive relationship
Oh,
with the most classic example of a malignant narcissist imaginable.
oh dear.
Their fights, really just him raging at her while she cried, escalated to the point where he was completely trashing the apartment, breaking her phone and laptop, hiding her car keys, blocking the door, and grabbing her arm so hard she had bruises.
Oh dear.
All while hurling out the worst insults he could fathom at the top of his lungs for hours.
Oh dear.
This man is about a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier than me, so there was nothing I could do other than give her a ride somewhere else away from him until the next day. He didn't like it when I did that.
Well, he wouldn't.
No. Once it reached the point of physical harm against her, I put my foot down and demanded that he move out or I would call the cops. He wasn't technically signed onto the lease,
Right, okay.
so I could have kicked him out. He begged for time to find a new place. He was extremely drunk and high the night he hurt her, and he promised to stay sober until he moved.
It unfolds.
Not wanting to escalate things, I agreed on the condition that nothing like that ever happen again. My friend and her fiance broke up soon after that. Good.
Yeah, well, they should do.
3 weeks pass and everything is going great. Ex-fiance has found a new place, is in training for a new job, and while still loud and inconsiderate, he hasn't caused any problems so far. I get ready for bed early. I have an important meeting early tomorrow. I put on comfy pajamas, locking my door before I change out of habit.
Yeah.
My bestie is out working. It's just me upstairs in bed and ex-fiance downstairs yelling on the phone about something. I tune him out and try to sleep. He's moving out next week. My chest rattles from the booming footfalls up the stairs to my room, waking me from sleep. My eyes snap open to see my bedroom doorknob rattling back and forth.
Very descriptive, isn't it?
Locked. He lets out a yell of pure malice and bangs on my door. He screams my name and is so slurred he sounds like he's trying to impersonate a lizard man. The hinges aren't looking so good. We lived in a crappy cheap apartment with thin doors. I have to do something before he breaks open the door. I say the only thing I can think of. What the F? Suddenly the banging and screaming stops. My doorknob falls still. After a terrifying moment of silence, he says flatly, "Open the door, bud. Just come and open the door."
Bud.
I still laugh about that one. Like, after all that, I'd just walk over and open it.
Yeah.
Instead, I grabbed my essentials and jumped out the window. I was on the second floor, but we lived on a hill, so the fall wasn't quite that high. Still managed to fall wrong. I hobbled as quickly as I could to my car and peeled away. I called my best friend and warned her not to go home. We made plans for her to stay with a friend after she got off work. I made it to the friend's house and passed out for a few hours. I woke up to a call from my bestie. He travelled all the way to her workplace with a knife and broke in. He assaulted her and held the knife up to her special needs client's throat and said he'd kill him in front of her. Thank God a co-worker overheard everything in another room and was able to call the police in time for everyone to come out alive. My bestie said he was on the phone with her while he was banging on my door, and he said he was going to kill me and make her listen. I was totally alone in the apartment with him, sleeping upstairs in my bed. If I hadn't locked my door that night, would I even still be alive? If I had left my car keys downstairs, would I have been able to get away? When I returned to my apartment the next morning, my bedroom door was completely kicked in, My belongings were scattered everywhere, and the large butcher's knives were missing from the kitchen. Instead, sitting in the corner of the hallway to my room. Well, that's terrifying. Jeez, it seems like everything was in place that enabled him to get away that night.
Gosh.
If you don't believe in fate.
Yeah, no, I always do.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were meant to live.
Yeah. Very unhinged individual. Is he now in a mental asylum?
I don't know, it doesn't
Because
say.
the sectioning is really...
Yeah.
Certainly needs rehab for a start, because he's clearly got addictions there that are...
Someone's commented, so glad you followed your instinct and got away.
Yeah.
I kind of think a subconscious part of you might have intentionally kept your door locked. That's traumatising for you, your bestie, and the patient with special needs.
Yeah.
So glad your co-worker heard and was able to get help. As horrific as this sounds, it's actually a fortunate thing that he wasn't able to control his rage and threatened with a deadly weapon out in public where there were witnesses. Too often I've seen violent abusers fall through the cracks in our justice system due to low bailout costs / direct evidence. Try to stay safe and I hope he gets locked up without possibility of parole.
Yeah.
OP replied to that saying, sometimes I think that too. I definitely got bad vibes from him before the incident.
Yeah.
I'm just so grateful he did enough to get criminally charged while still not hurting anyone permanently.
But he needs
Yeah.
mental help.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so just going to prison and like even if, because what would he get for that? I don't know, because
I don't know. I'm assuming it's in America, so I don't know.
I don't know, state to state's different, you know, but if he serves his sentence in jail, and he sounds like the sort of character that would probably just keep his nose clean to get out.
Yeah, probably, because he's probably only goes for people that are smaller and more vulnerable than himself. Someone said, what the actual F is wrong with that guy? Definitely a lot of screws missing.
Yeah.
And OP said, looking back, there were tons of signs I missed, but seriously, I've never met someone so messed up in the head before.
No, he needs help. He really does.
Yeah, and someone replied to that saying, you will be hyper aware of those signs in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah.
OP then said, it's actually swung way too far in the opposite direction. I had a meltdown after moving into my new place because a neighbour approached me and asked if I was my name. A stranger knowing my name without me knowing how they knew it immediately put me into panic mode, and I completely embarrassed myself and ruined any relationship. Oh, yeah.
That's sad.
And they've just said that they've contacted therapists and they're on a wait list.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there is a long wait list for mental health care.
Yeah. Well, it's such a there's such a high demand for it, I think.
Yeah.
Because the structure in our society just puts everyone under pressure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got issues, and he needs to get help.
Yeah. Someone said, "Why didn't you call the police when he was banging on the door?
Yeah.
Did the guy go to jail?" OP says, "Fight or flight kicked in mostly. I didn't know if the door was going to hold for long enough for the cops to get there. I just needed to get out there as soon as possible."
Yeah, he did the right thing.
By the time I had driven away, all I knew he had done was yell and bang on my door, so I didn't think I had enough to call the cops. By the time I found out he had murderous intent, the cops had already been called.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's asked a very pertinent question.
Yeah.
Why did your friend not call the police for you if she was on the phone to him at the time? Because if he was on the phone to her saying he was going to kill OP, she should have called the police straight away.
Had a colleague do it.
Yeah. And OP said, I asked myself that question a lot. I ended up breaking off the friendship due to her poor decision making, putting me in danger.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. He hasn't mentioned anything about the guy going to court or anything.
No updates or anything.
Yeah, just people saying it's not narcissism, that's psychotic behaviour.
Yeah, definitely. Psychosis.
Yeah. And he's just saying he didn't include anything about his narcissistic behaviour. It was just... Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh. So someone said, OMFG, hope he stays in jail. OP replied 2 days ago, I wish. He took the plea deal, so he got out on house arrest with an ankle monitor. He only spent a month or so in jail. I mean, depending on where you are.
Is that not just the very epitome of the judicial system failing us massively?
It's definitely the USA, because he says he was arrested and charged with a felony.
Yeah.
Took the plea deal, so he only spent a month or so in jail, was out on house arrest with an ankle monitor for a few more months. As far as I last heard, he moved across the country. Best friend got a restraining order. I've spent a good 6 months being extremely paranoid. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
You can get away with a lot.
Yeah. Try to murder someone, that's alright. Just have a tag, mate.
Just wear an ankle monitor for a few months. Fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And then when that comes off, you can carry on.
Just move away and start a new life.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was interesting to try a different subreddit.
Yeah.